Hello guys and welcome to SteveKnows. This one is a little different today. I've just come across an article that we seriously need to go over together and discuss because this could be seriously damaging or it could be beneficial to virtual reality, and that is to do with putting adverts into virtual reality games, as this new company just had a huge round of financing for them to fund the project to enable them to put virtual reality adverts into our game. So I need to go over this article with you and let's discuss it. Let's begin. Let's go over to the computer. So this is the article. Admix secures $7 million funding to bring non-intrusive, quotes, ads to virtual reality and augmented reality gaming. Admix is an in-game advertisement platform that announced that it raised $7 million in its Series A, so it's its first financing round, $7 million to put advertising into our VR and AR games. But don't worry, Admix are doing it in a way that's different to all the other players. They're doing it in a way that's non-intrusive. They've created a platform that lets developers insert advertisements into their games, something the company says can be done non-intrusively across all device types, AR and VR included. It's really, this is some Iowa, Admix should be called Iowa, but it's still a pretty interesting solution. Instead of having the pop-ups that you get like probably at the bottom of one of these videos that you have to cancel, it's going to do it in a way that we have example images here, like we have a McDonald's advertisement in Superhot. It says, while putting ads in games is nothing groundbreaking, Admix says it's co-opting traditional ad buying techniques. Its platform allows them to do it at scale thanks to its Unity and Unreal compatible SDK, which essentially lets developers forego pop-ups and other interstitials that may otherwise ruin the gaming experience. So instead of pop-ups that get really annoying that we've probably seen on mobile apps, they're going to do it like this. There's actually examples up top as well. So here we have an Oculus advertisement for the Rift, is that a Rift? Yeah, Rift S headset in a first-person shooter, a Foot Locker advertisement in a basketball game, and also an Alienware advertisement in another game. It's a better way of doing it, but do we really want advertisements in our games, especially games that we pay for? There's so many arguments that I want to go after we've gone through the article. I do want to discuss. And there's a nice quote here that clearly makes it great news for advertisers. The concept of putting ads in games is obviously not new, but the scalability of our solution is revolutionary, delivering instant and constant revenue to game makers or streaming platforms. Huber said in the statement obtained by TechCrunch, this coupled with the fact that 1.5 billion people play games globally every day means that gaming is becoming a truly mainstream advertising channel. That is a painful statement. A mainstream advertising channel in our games. And then this last statement's like icing on the cake, a cherry on top. In the realm of VR headsets, Admix also says it uses gaze tracking to verify how ads are consumed, something that's bound to change once the majority of VR headsets include eye tracking. So they're actually going to be using eye tracking and monitoring the kind of adverts that we're attracted to, and then going to be putting more of those adverts into our game. So eventually when they've got this amazing equation down or this model down to determine what is the best advert to put in a virtual reality game that is going to take our attention away from our game, and that's what they're going to allow. This is already a problem. There's so much here that we need to discuss. So let's go over to the table. So there are many interesting things in this article, some that I see as really positive that could possibly help the virtual reality industry, at least in ways where we can get some better games and devs can have more revenue, a stream of income, because the industry is supported by indie developers. We don't have that many AAA titles. There are also a ton of bad things that I want to discuss. So let's do this. We'll do good news, bad news. So the first is the stream of free games that we could possibly start getting in virtual reality. Some higher quality free games that this enables because they can put advertisements into their games that aren't going to be intrusive. So they're not going to be pop-ups. They're going to be like billboards perhaps, or perhaps it's an add-on on a loading screen that we have. Something that we can easily ignore. In 2014, they started doing studies and it turned out that people just started ignoring the banners that they were putting on there. So eventually we would get to that state. This would also help developers who want to create those bigger and better titles, but know that they're not really going to get the benefits of that. They're not going to get all the revenue, the income that they deserve for all of the effort they put into the game. So why would they put in the effort? But now, to know that they could possibly have additional revenue coming in via an advertisement deal, it enables them to potentially release DLC for free. Perhaps they can create a longer game, a more visually stunning game. The effort can be put in to create a game that we want. Because at the end of the day, it is a business. So if they're not going to make any money out of it, why are they going to put in the additional effort? So this creates a stream or a channel or an option for them to enable them to do so. And I do like that idea. I think developers need more credit in the virtual reality industry. They do a great job, and they don't really see much benefit from it, so thank you guys. And I mean that at least in terms of console gaming or PC gaming when we have these big AAA titles, because the user base is there. But some serious things that worry me about this is so IOI. If you haven't seen Ready Player One, this is so that. And there was a scene where it says they can take up 80% of the user's vision with advertisements without causing seizures, I think it was. And this just seems like it's going to be that, because if we allow this, where does it stop? So when does this stop? First, it's non-intrusive ads. We become accustomed to it. And then they start bringing in more ads. Eventually, we're going to get pop-ups. And now our headset is just an advertisement media device. And that's the last thing we want. This is our gaming platform. But that's not the worst thing. Say it's non-intrusive and we're okay with that. I'm not okay with that. But just say we're okay with that and developers start implementing this. But the one that really worries me is that they talk about eye tracking. They're going to be looking at what adverts you're looking at, how long you're looking at them for, and what types of adverts is it that you're checking out. And then that means that they're going to start recommending advertisers to use those kinds of adverts to get more views. So that means eventually we're going to get more and more adverts that are designed to take our attention away from the game that we're playing. So we can be really immersed playing this first-person shooter, and then there's going to be a specifically designed to take our attention away, break the immersion for us to look at a McDonald's, let's say a McDonald's advert for the new Big Mac. I don't want that. I'm in the game to get out of the real world, and you're pulling me back in, taking my attention out of the game. You might as well have someone come into my room, tap me on the shoulder, and I lift up my headset. And something about virtual reality, which is a platform that really invokes this kind of emotional, empathetic response that others don't in video games, because we're embodying the character, we're actually living the experiences. So now they're trying to relate these advertisements to those emotional responses, so they'll know where to put them. If it's a game where you're excited and your energy's pumping and you're just hyping with your team, they're going to be putting high energetic sort of advertisements that require friendship groups and squads to enjoy up there. And then we're going to relate this feeling of being with our friends and that excitement to now that advert. Perhaps it's going to be a sad, emotional one. They're not going to put adverts there, are they? It's just going to be a sad, emotional scene of a game. There'll be no adverts. Which, this is a long stretch, but perhaps that's going to influence how they actually design the games. Are we going to have this emotional roller coaster that create these, like they used to do with films, amazing movies, and now films, they're not the same anymore. They're making films for specific audience, for revenue, rather than just making good films. And I don't want that to be the case here. This is seriously worrying. There's good and bad, but I'm seeing the bad. I don't want this to be the end of virtual reality gaming. Now, please let me know your thoughts down below. I want to know what you think about this, because it's just going round and round in my head, and I just hope it doesn't happen. So that's it from me today, guys. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. I appreciate you sticking around and listening to this debate. I really do want to hear your thoughts, so please comment down below what you think about this, because it's definitely a head scratcher, and there are pros and there are cons. Thanks to my patrons, you absolute legends, and remember, guys, happy gaming. Good day.